Let's go ahead and take a look at your clip.
You're not going mad. I can see them too. You're just as sane as I am.
Everyone, this is Luna Lovegood. An interesting necklace.
It's a charm, actually. Keeps away the narwhals.
Evanna, I got some questions for you. Now, we've heard that you had a really unique casting experience for the movies. Can you share any of that story with us?
Yeah, well, that was, I mean, I would never be where I am today if I hadn't been a huge Harry Potter fan to start with. I think everyone knows that. I don't make it a secret. But yeah, I really, really wanted to play that part. Because I started reading it when I was 8, and I knew about Luna's character, and I knew she was coming up, and I was keeping an eye. I was like a big fan of the films already. So I used to go on all the Harry Potter websites, MuggleNet, I should give them a shout out. I used to go on MuggleNet every day just for news, and one day there was an announcement for an open casting for Luna. I was like, that's me, here's my ticket. So, and I live in Ireland, I'm from Ireland, and it was in London, so I kind of had to beg my parents, and my mom didn't want me to go because I had school, and my dad, who's here, hi dad, he took me, he said, oh, let's give it a shot, and yeah, so it was a big open audition, basically anyone could go.
How many people do you think were there?
What?
How many people do you think were at that open audition?
Well, they said 15,000, but that's a scary number. I think, I don't know. Yeah, they said that. And then apparently 3 boys turned up to the audition. Fair play.
These guys?
Yeah, these 2 in wigs. Yeah, and I had that, it was on a Saturday. It was actually January, and Dad actually, he does that every January. Well, he's here, so he didn't do it this time, but he sends me a text and he goes, 6 years ago to this day, and he'll give the whole story.
And the moral of that story is make sure you got a good dad.
Spoken by a good one.
Yeah. And then a week later I had a screen test, and that was it. It happened really fast. It happened within 2 weeks.
Now, did you go back and be like, Dad, thank you? Thank you.
Yes, I did.
Definitely paid off.
But too, he always does that. We were walking around, we went to the NASA Space Center the other day, and he still does this. He turns around, we get into places now. Harry Potter just opens doors, and he turns around and he's like, isn't it where we landed that part? But just, so, he's doing okay.
Now, you have a very special connection with your own character, but other than Luna, which character is your favorite?
That's a good question. Probably Dumbledore. He's just wise and quirky and has great dress sense. I just always took a lot. Every time he comes into the books, or like the scene, like in book and movie, you just kind of go, oh, it's gonna be okay now, Dumbledore's here. Except until book 6. Book 6 ruined it, but I don't know, he always made me feel safe, and I trusted him. Yeah.
Now, you said you were a fan, you're not being in the movies. If you weren't acting in the films, would you have wanted to work on the production in any other way, like directing or props or anything? Like, what would that be?
Actually, I did, when I was, because we were all in school at the time, and in my 4th year of school we had to do work experience in other places. And I mean, I was working on the Harry Potter films, kind of the coolest place to do work experience, so I contacted people. I worked at the makeup department, and in the costume department, and the art department. But I think I enjoyed the costume most, because it was so much fun. And it just felt very, like it was a big part in creating the characters as well. Definitely, like for Luna, I wouldn't feel fully Luna until I put on my horseradishes and the whole shebang, you know.
Fully in
so,
character.
Yeah. Yeah, so it felt very creative and cool.
Now, knowing that you had such a huge knowledge of the books beforehand, was there anything that was in the books that you would have loved to have seen made it into the movie that didn't make it in? To any of them?
So many things. I was gutted that they cut out Dumbledore's funeral. I actually marched up to the producer's office and I was like, "You can have my paycheck. If it's money, just take it." Because I mean, they get Dobby a good send off. I just felt it was broke my heart that he didn't get a funeral. But we gave him a one tribute. It's not the same, but still. And then I was pretty sad. Personally, I was sad that I didn't get to do the Quidditch match commentating. It was so cool. And it was in there at first, and we had the line out and everything, and it got cut. But yeah, because I was never one in matches, even though it was Quidditch, I kind of nod off a bit. I don't find it that interesting, and I thought Luna would make it. Sorry, all
So it
of
was
us.
just like football.
Sorry. Yeah, but I liked how she commentated it.
Very nice. Now, speaking of changes from the page to the screen, now we've talked about Luna and Neville's relationship during the Deathly Hallows. Now, as a fan of the books, how did you feel about that? Do you think that Luna and Neville would have made a good couple?
Yeah, that was funny, wasn't it?
Matt, you can respond to this too.
Be very careful how you answer this.
It was a funny one because it was always, and I was always aware of the fan fiction world, that CD world, because, and it was one of those things that people always thought of and they kind of wanted to happen, but normally when you change something from the books, change something in the movies from the books, people get very mad. They just they don't like it, it's not canon, it shouldn't be there. But this was one that actually everyone was really happy with. And I think it's just they're both outsiders, they're both kind of, they're weird and proud about it. And it just was nice, and it also kind of fit in the context of the war, because everyone gets married then, because they don't know if they're going to live or die, and that was cute. But I also, that moment at the end of the film where they woke up, it's a bit awkward, it's personally, I think Luna's too weird for Neville.
But do you think that JK couldn't resist matchmaking with her creations? You know, I think that towards the end of it, she couldn't help it.
This one, this here, this, yeah.
Like knitting.
She was like a mom, matching everybody together at that point.
It was quite nice. I think it was, to see those journeys as well. The characters of Neville and Luna come so far from when we first see them to when we see them in the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Just that one scene we just saw there. Evanna's sort of introduction to Harry Potter. All the looks that sort of Neville gives her. He just thinks she's the weirdest person of all time. And yet by Deathly Hallows Part 2, he's crazy for her. So I just really like that whole journey, even if it wasn't canon. I quite like the way it was.
I noticed after it was all decided and the film was made, I don't know, because I'm weird, I still put Harry Potter posters up in my room, but one day I was looking at it and I was like, hang on, Luna's totally checking Neville out. If you look at it, everyone else is looking really determined into camera, and it was like, check it out.
It happens.
I'm still doing it now. He's getting a little cold down there. He's not feeling any of the heat. Evanna, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you very much.